Hi, this is Ryan over at Vacation Rental Bookkeeping, and today I just wanted to do a quick video about sales tax and lodging tax. As we work with different clients across the country, we've found that this can really become a headache, especially it depends on your location and the requirements that you have at your particular location on what kind of taxes you have to remit. But we've found that it can be confusing to keep track of all that. It's because some of the channels, like Airbnb, has agreements with many of the locations where they'll actually collect the tax from the guest and remit it. You don't have to do anything with it, so that makes it easy. But then again, sometimes they only will remit some of them. Maybe they'll remit the state tax, but there's a local tax that they don't do, and so you have to report only that portion of it. And then maybe for your other channels, if you use other booking channels, you have to report the whole amount. And then, some of the booking channels will collect tax for you, like HomeAway. You can set up tax to be collected, but then Airbnb, you can't set up tax to be collected, and so that can cause another issue to have to deal with. And sometimes, even if the booking channel collects tax, it's hard to get it to collect the right amount, because you may have maybe you have to remit tax on the cleaning fee, but the channel setup won't let you make that taxable. Or maybe your location has a nightly tax where you have a certain amount you have to charge per night, and the booking channel system isn't set up to handle something like that. So it can be difficult to get the correct amount of tax to be charged for those bookings. And then again, you might have properties in more than one location, and so you're dealing with different tax rates for different properties because they're in different taxing locations. And so today I just want to go through a couple sales tax calculations and then show you what we've been doing to try to help our clients out to keep track of all this and make sure it's being done correctly. So let's just take a look at a couple sales tax calculations here. Let's say we had a Booking.com reservation. We'll just say it was for 2 nights here. You can see the rent there. Cleaning fee was $75, and let's say Booking.com collected $65.38 from the guest in taxes. So the total that you got deposited into your bank account was $456.33. All right, this is pretty straightforward. Booking.com does collect some tax for you, but we need to make sure that they collected the right amount. So first we're going to figure out our taxable revenue. It varies, again, based on each taxing authority. Generally, rent is taxable, and then generally cleaning fee is as well. But again, that can vary. But most places are going to say if it's a mandatory charge that's not refundable and the guest does not have a choice whether they get to pay it, then it's usually taxable. But you have to check on each location to find out for sure. So let's say we're going to add that. Let's say in this case our cleaning fee is taxable. We have a $390.95 will be our taxable revenue. All right, let's just say for this property we have to pay a 9.25% tax, which we remit to the state. So pretty simple, we'll just take our 9.25% times our taxable revenue. That'd be $36.16 is going to the state. And let's say that we have a local hospitality tax is 6%. All right, so 6% of our taxable revenue is $23.46. And just to make it a little more interesting, let's say that our county charges $2.50 per night. We have seen some of that with our clients where we have some locations are charging by the night, not a percent. So this was a 2-night booking, so there's another $5 in tax that needs to be remitted to the county. So if we add this up, the tax due will be the $36.16, the $23.46, and the $5 is $64.62. We collected $65.38, so we were pretty close. We were 76 cents off. Not too big of a deal. Really, that 76 cents is a little bit of additional income to you because you collected a little more tax than you were supposed to. And again, sometimes it's not possible to get the channel to charge the correct amount just because of their settings. And so sometimes this does happen where you have a little bit of a difference. In this case, you have collected a little bit too much, so that would be income to you. If you didn't collect enough, then that would be taken out of your income, because that was really not your income, it was tax that you collected. Now let's look at an Airbnb booking, because that's going to be a little more tricky, because they do not charge the guest tax. Now they might charge the guest tax and remit it for you, and that's nice. If they do that, you don't have to worry about anything. But let's say that you do have to remit some tax, that they don't have the agreement, they don't collect it, they don't remit it, but they also will not charge the guest for you. You can't set up a tax rate in the Airbnb system. So let's say this is how much you got into your bank account, and let's just say that all of the charges are taxable. Okay, so you charged a rent and a cleaning fee. Let's say both of those are taxable. But this is the amount that you have received for the booking. All right, so the taxable revenue is most likely going to be less than this because this actually includes the tax. Tax is included in here. You could ask the guest to pay the tax on top of this. Okay, so you could contact them and say, all right, this was your total, here's the tax due, you have to pay me more money, maybe through a resolution adjustment. But most hosts are not doing that because of the hassle, and the guest is not really going to like that. And so they are just saying that this is tax inclusive. This is my rent and the tax all paid in one sum. So to get your taxable revenue, we need to kind of, we say, back the tax out of this and see how much was actually my income and how much was tax. Let's use the same scenario. Let's start with that $2.50 per night tax. Let's say we have to pay that. So that's $5 of tax we know for sure is included in here. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract that off. That's going to take us down to $319.95 because that's tax. That's not income to me. It's just tax I'm waiting to remit to the taxing authority. All right, and just to make it a little more interesting, let's say the Airbnb has an agreement with our state and they take care of the 9.25 state tax. And I don't have to do anything with that. They've collected it, they've remitted it, it's not showing up here. It's just all taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. But let's say that they do not have an agreement with my local 6% taxing authority. All right, so I still have to remit this 6% hospitality tax. All right, so my taxable revenue, first of all, we've taken off the $5 here, but now we need to take out a 6% tax and see what the taxable revenue is. All right, so to do that, you're going to take the $319.95 after we've taken our nightly tax out. If you don't have a nightly tax, you won't have to worry about that. You just be using your amount that you received. And we're going to divide by 1 plus the percentage rate, which is 6% here, so which is 0.06. So we're going to divide by 1.06. If we had to remit both of these, let's say that Airbnb didn't collect and remit anything, so the total here would be 15.25. And so in that case, I would be dividing by 1.1525. All right, but let's say Airbnb does take care of the state part. We just need to remit this 6% local. So what we're going to do is divide that. It comes out to $301.84. That would be my taxable revenue. Okay, and I'll show you how it all works out here at the end. So what I would do when I report my taxable revenue to this taxing authority, I'm going to say that I had $301.84 in income. They're going to charge me 6% on that. 6% of $301.84 is $18.11. And then when we work it all out, okay, here's my taxable revenue. That's my income, my money that I got from the guest. The total tax that was charged was this $18.11 and the $5. So that's a total of $23.11 was tax. And so if I add that up, I get my $324.95, which is how much that I received for this booking. All right, so the key is here, we don't report the $324.95 as taxable revenue because that includes tax. And then what happens if you do that is you're paying tax on the tax. It kind of be like if you went to the store and you bought something for $100 and the store didn't charge you tax, and then they still reported that they had $100 in taxable revenue, they'd have to pay your tax out of their pocket, which is not how it should be done. All right, so they're going to report the $100, but they're going to charge you tax. They actually received more than 100. All right, so you received more than 301.84, but that's what you're going to report because that is the taxable revenue to you. The rest, the 2311, is the tax that you received that you're going to send off to the government. And you can see it doesn't make a huge difference in this particular booking. It's kind of a low amount. And a low 6% is a pretty low tax rate. If you do 6% of this, which would be incorrect, you'd end up paying $19.50 in tax. And you'd say, well, it's only a little more than $1 difference. But again, if the booking is bigger, and if you're doing this on every single booking, and if your tax rate is higher, that really is going to start to add up after a while, and you'll be paying more tax than you should be. All right, so that's how you can kind of back the tax out and figure out what your taxable revenue is whenever tax is already included and you don't have a particular breakdown. See, this 301.84, there's nowhere you're going to see that number on any kind of Airbnb reports. That's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself because they don't know what different taxes you have to remit. Now, what we've been doing to try to help our clients out, just this year we prepared this new report to try to keep track of all this information for our clients. All right, so what we can do, we list each booking here for a particular property, and we keep track of what booking channel it came from. And these first two are the ones that I just showed you as an example. But you can see on this one, we're going to, on Airbnb, you can see we have 0 taxable revenue, no tax for the state, but we are going to show it for the local. And then we've got the nightly tax here. You might also have like a flat tax. Maybe it's like $5 per booking, not per night. Okay, we could have something like that as well. And so then we're going to also track over here how much tax actually is due when we calculate it correctly. How much tax did we collect from the guest? And we'll keep track if there is a difference here. Every once in a while there's a little difference. We want to try to track that, and if it's getting to be too big there, we want to kind of tweak our settings in the booking channel. As you can look down at this property here, we've got one here that we didn't charge enough tax, so we want to look into that and see why there was not enough tax charged, because you end up paying that out of your proceeds, and so we want to keep track of that. You can't really just use the amount that the booking authority, the channel, charged, because it might not be the right amount. So you really have to do your own calculations. So this is a report we made for our clients, and we can send it to them so they can see exactly how much tax to report. You can see the state taxable revenue is different than the local because not all the bookings have to pay that. And we can run this report for only certain properties or for only certain channels in order to make your sales tax reporting as easy as possible. The other great thing about this is if you get audited and you have to provide proof of why you paid what you did in sales tax, we can print this report off for any time period and send in. You can send in the actual booking by booking, exactly what came in. Here's how we calculated it. Here's the tax we remitted. And so it's very clear exactly what you did. You have good proof that you paid the correct amount of sales tax. So this is Ryan at Vacation Rental Bookkeeping, and I want to thank you for watching the video today. Hopefully it was a help to you. We can't advise you on what tax rates you should pay or what parts of your income are taxable, but we can definitely help you on tracking it once you figure that out and making sure that you're collecting the right amount and making sure you're reporting the right amount and keeping good records, and so that you can verify that you did the right thing if you were happen to get audited. So I want to thank you for watching the video today, and if we can be of any help to you at all, please let us know, and have a great day.